Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Notes Goes podcast. I am Brandon.
And I'm Steve.
How's it going, buddy?
Dude, I am doing pretty good.
Good.
Mid-April.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, we don't have those random Michigan snowstorms during baseball season.
I know it.
I mean, it's been like it has been the bipolar vortex.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Even as of late, it snowed last week as of recording, and then it was
Right.
like 55 in the afternoon.
Yes.
Who
Because
the hell knows?
that's right. It's a weird time of year.
Yeah. It's been weird, man. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. As of recording, got back from Arizona a little over a week ago. So that was fun.
I'm going to Florida tomorrow.
I know you're leaving tomorrow. But man, if I could afford to live in Arizona, I think I would.
Cost of living higher than Michigan?
Yeah, a lot.
Is it?
Yeah. So, for example, who knows, but like a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, 200 or 2,000 square foot here in Michigan would without a basement will probably get you, I don't know, 300s, maybe, probably ish.
Right now, you're getting closer to the 4 range.
Yeah, in Arizona, 750. So,
but that also means the wages are probably higher too.
That's true. That is true.
And you're not paying as much for utilities.
Right.
There's some trade-off. I mean, you're probably paying more electric because of the air conditioning and everything else.
All year around, yeah. But you're not paying for heat. You're not paying for heat necessarily.
You just walk outside.
Exactly. And it's a dry heat, which is nice. We went to a spring training game and it was hotter than hell because, there's no shade. But I wasn't sweating. It was just hot, know. And I got sunburned. I had to lather up with my pasty white sunscreen and, not get burned.
I get to experience that in a few months when it's going to be hotter because I'm going in June. Because we're going to the Grand Canyon in June. So
yeah, that'll be good. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
Arizona's a good state. I'm glad we went. It was a good time seeing family, and I can't complain. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been there yet, so it's kind of one of those things.
Yeah, for sure. So, Steve, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Mid-April.
Yep.
And this is a band that we've never talked about before. We've talked about them, but we've never done an album of theirs in our 260 some plus episodes.
Yeah, as of 264 today, actually. Look at us go.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. So, Steve, this was your choice, clearly.
It was.
It was. So what are we talking about today, my man?
Well, man, rumor has it we've been trying to do more classic rock. And not like what they're playing for classic rock on the radio right now because they're playing Fall Out Boy and the Offspring. It makes my heart hurt.
Right.
We're playing classic rock from our parents' age.
Right.
70s, 80s, maybe some late 60s, depending on how it goes. But we haven't done a whole lot of that. So we've been trying to do more this year.
Right.
So I said, you know what? If we're going to do 70s rock, there is one album that we have to get in this year at some point.
Yeah. Because
it's a banger. And that was Fleetwood Mac's Rumors, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, we are.
Good old Mick Fleetwood and Stevie Nicks and oh man. So before I get into my background research, and holy shit, there's some fun stuff in this.
I can imagine.
No, I don't think you can, actually. There's some stuff that will make you blush.
Great.
What is your familiarity with Fleetwood Mac? Do you have a familiarity with Fleetwood Mac, I should say?
I know of Fleetwood Mac. I know of Stevie Nicks.
You know they exist?
I know that they exist, but have I listened to their music prior to prepping for this podcast? Can't say that I have.
Really? So, like not even like on the radio, like hearing,
I mean, I probably have
and whatnot.
I mean, I'm sure I have, but it's not like,
not something that really like
spoke to
stood out to you?
it didn't speak to me, it didn't stand out. It was just kind of, whatever. So
You've never listened to a full Fleetwood Mac album except for today, like
correct.
with this recording.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I've listened to this album a couple of times. My mom, again, I talk about her a lot. We talk about classic rock. My mom did
Yeah.
a lot of classic rock, listened to a lot of stuff. My mom, my aunts,
Yep.
my dad every once in a while, but like we did a lot of classic rock shows because generally they were cheap. I never saw Fleetwood. Still haven't seen Fleetwood. I guess they're still touring. But I saw a lot of cover bands play Fleetwood songs though, and I still do actually from time to time. So
Yeah.
I'm familiar with them. I was not familiar with some of the stories that came from this album specifically, but the band as well. So let's get into that a little bit here.
Yeah, man.
Fleetwood Mac, British American rock band formed in London in 1967, the year my mom was born.
Nice. My mom was 5.
Yep, so 56 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
For those playing the game at home, Mom.
Yeah.
Um,
We just lost a follower.
she'll be back. They were active from 67 to 95. Took a
Okay.
small break from 95 to 97. They've been going again since 97. So 97 to present.
Wow.
So we said 56 years. It took 2 years off. 54 years they've been a band.
Wow.
They've changed members here and there because
Well, yeah.
folks have died and fell off, but they've 54 years, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy here. They have 18 studio albums, 9 live albums, 23 compilation albums, and these are like best of and like
Sure.
other mixture types
I mean,
albums.
at 50 some years, you got to have a best of.
You're gonna have a few. They've been
Or at
around
least
that
a
long, you're gonna have a
couple.
few albums.
Right.
And then 63 singles.
Wow.
Now, they only have so 54 years of band,
Yeah.
18 albums. They only had 7 Grammy nominations.
Wow.
And they had 2 wins.
Okay.
They won Album of the Year for Rumors, the album we're
Okay.
doing today.
Yep.
And they got a Grammy Hall of Fame, which counts as one of their wins.
Okay.
They were inducted in the Grammy Hall of Fame. Now
Okay.
the current band members, we have Mick Fleetwood on drums, John McVie on bass, which are the 2 founding members of the group.
Mhm.
Stevie Nicks on vocals, been in the band for 41 years. Mike Campbell on lead guitar and vocals since 2018, and Neil Finn on rhythm guitar, vocals, and keyboard since 2018. Now, notable past members, we had Lindsey Buckingham and Christine McVie. When the band's heyday came out, it was Mick, John and Christine McVie, Stevie Nicks, and Lindsey Buckingham.
Okay.
That was the core
group. Yeah.
of when especially when Rumors came out. That was the group here.
Okay.
The band's name actually came from using Mick Fleetwood and John McVie's last name, so Fleetwood McVie.
Oh.
It's how they got their name. They did start off as a blues band, if you
I
can
can see
kind of
that.
hear it a little bit.
Yeah.
And they had a #1 hit in England with the song Albatross. That was in the late 60s.
Okay.
They were a blues band. They kind of did that blues rock vibe.
Yeah.
In 1974, the band transitioned to more of the rock style and brought in Lindsey Buckingham because they were in need of a guitarist and a male vocalist. Now, Buckingham agreed, but only if Stevie Nicks could come with him because they were a duo in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
So Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks were playing together as a duo in the U.S. Fleetwood Mac said, "We want Buckingham," and he was like, "Well, I got to bring Stevie with me."
Yeah.
I mean, which we all have to admit, that's a good deal.
That is a good deal.
I mean, you get Stevie Nicks too.
Sure.
It's like you throw in a Stevie Nicks and you got me.
Yeah.
You
Right.
shake on that one and you just run away from the money.
Yeah.
You run with the money here. Now, this lineup, as I said before, this lineup actually did remain for the better part of 20 years before they kind of all fell apart. So
Okay.
from like the mid 70s until early 90s, they really were together. The band has sold over 120 million albums, became one of the best-selling artists of all time. 1979, they were given the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 1998, they were inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. and received the Brit Award for Outstanding Contribution to Music, which is kind of like their Lifetime Achievement Award.
Sure.
The Brits are like the Grammys of England.
Yeah.
2018, the band received the Music Cares Person of the Year Award from the Recording Academy in recognition of their artistic achievement in the music industry and dedication to philanthropy. Or if you're an Always Sunny fan, they are a full-on rapist. Sorry,
I don't get that. I don't get that one. That's fine.
Philanthropist.
Oh, all right.
Full-on rapist.
Yeah. All right.
The Charlie Day thing.
Got it. Got it.
Sorry, every time I see that word, I'm like, full-on rapist. All right, we're good. No, Charlie, you're a philanthropist. All right, so Brandon, now let's talk about Spotify.
Yeah.
Now they haven't put out much lately, okay?
Yeah.
But 54 years they've been around, and
Yeah.
they're kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
It's in the millions.
Yeah.
What number you got for me?
Oh man. I don't. I
Gone up by 2 million too. Holy crap.
Oh man. Okay. Well, let's go with 11 million then.
Oh man, you undersold.
Oh, did I?
27.6.
Oh wow. Okay, I sure did.
It was 25.4 when I
Wow.
looked it up last month.
Okay.
I was doing the background for this. So back in March, it was 25.4. So roughly about 4 or 5 weeks, they gained 2.2 million more listeners last month.
Interesting.
That's nuts. Now, Rumors was released February 4th, 1977. It was their 11th studio album of the 18 they've had. They sold over 40 million copies. It was the 6th best-selling album of the 1970s and the 12th best-selling album of all time.
Wow.
The whole 1970s. Think of all the music that was made in the 1970s. It was the 6th best-selling album and the
That's
12th
insane.
of all time. So it's a crazy here.
Yeah.
Now, the album was shaped by heavy drug use and personal issues. John and Christine McVie, Stevie Nicks, and Mick Fleetwood all experienced divorce during the production of this album.
Wow.
So John and Christine were married.
Yeah.
They divorced.
Right.
Stevie Nicks got divorced, and Mick Fleetwood got divorced. That's 4 of the 6 band members.
Wow.
During the recording of this album.
Yeah.
Rumors was actually the band's first #1 hit in the UK and the US. It did win Album of the Year in 1977, the 1977 Grammys. Ooh. The album is considered the band's like magnus opus, or like their pinnacle. Like this is the mountaintop for Fleetwood Mac. In 2017, it was inducted in the Library of Congress for its cultural significance. We talk about artists every once in a while. If you guys didn't know this, not every piece of music is put in the Library of Congress. That's something I didn't know. I thought we saved it all, even like Lil Boozy, whatever, just
sure,
hanging out with whoever else in the Library of Congress. But no, it actually has to be selected to be put in there, and they only use the ones that are culturally significant, which was kind of funny. 2017, so damn near 40 years after it was released, they were like, "Yeah, that one's good."
Yeah.
40 years later.
Yeah.
I don't know. So in 2020, Rolling Stone, as we all love Rolling Stone, did rank this the 7th best record of all time out of 500. So it's a high up there.
Yeah.
I have a quote from Patrick McKay of Stylist magazine. Again, I mention these for once in a while, but I find a quote that basically sums up an album better than I ever could. I just will use this. So Patrick McKay wrote, "What distinguishes Rumors, what makes it art, is the contradiction between its cheerful surface and its anguished heart. Here's a radio-friendly record about anger, recrimination, and loss." And we'll get into that a little bit here, I think, too. But it had some singles, at 4 of them: "Go Your Own Way," "Don't Stop," "You Make Lovin' Fun," and "Dreams," which was their only #1 hit in the US, and over 1.1 billion plays on Spotify was just the song "Dreams."
Wow.
So this band's been up for 54 years. They
Yeah.
are on the mountaintop when it comes to classic rock artists, especially in the
Sure.
70s.
Yeah.
Only one #1 hit.
That's kind of insane.
I wonder if it goes to like the amount of like music art like artists that were in that heyday
Yeah.
that like they just didn't eclipse that. They got one.
Right.
It reminds me of like playing in the Tom Brady era when he's in the Patriots.
Yeah. That makes
Like
sense.
you got one Super Bowl, but that dude, I'm sorry, he was here.
Right.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. That guy.
It just
Yeah.
like if you
I get it.
if you weren't Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, or Joe Flacco or Ben Roethlisberger, you weren't gonna win anything in the AFC for 25 years.
Right. Yeah.
Until recently. But it just like you're stuck in a rut with that guy.
Right.
Like I was awesome, but fuck.
Right.
So I mean that's I kind of like equivalent that out to like these
Yeah.
guys are amazing, but
But
they were just in a group of like awesome people.
Right.
And Kiss.
We'll get there. Or
We'll
we've
get there.
been there.
No,
I don't know.
We'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there. All
Friday.
right. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh no.
Spoiler alert, guys.
Yeah.
Yep. Coming up on Friday. All right. So I had to go there.
Yeah.
That'll be on TikTok. Brandon, what was your
Steve,
favorite track from this album?
I picked Go Your Own Way.
Sweet.
I know. So super popular track, obviously, which is the real reason for me picking this one as my favorite, honestly. I can't say I'm like a big Fleetwood Mac fan, but I could definitely like sing the chorus to this track and like, you know, jam out to it and whatever. But one thing that I did really like about this track, and a lot of these songs really, was just the harmonies that were being sung vocally. I think the vocals amongst this band are just really well done. And just kind of breaking down this song a little bit, you can hear those harmonies and Go Your Own Way. It was really good. It was my favorite track. So yeah.
Like it.
What about you?
My favorite track was Don't Stop.
Okay.
It really is like I wrote it's my second favorite track about not stopping. Journey has #1 place in my heart.
You can't stop believing.
Can't stop believing. And we all want to go to South Detroit unless we find out it's Toledo and nobody wants to go to Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely.
This track is everything that you'd want from like a 70s pop rock jam.
Yeah.
There's a great percussion track on it. The chorus hook is catchy. The guitar solo is majestic. And the gang vocals kind of give you the track enough depth to get you in the groove. And then listen to the lyrics. It's seriously about divorce.
Yeah.
But it's so like poppy.
It is.
And happy.
Which probably
I guess I've been through one of those and it was a joyous time.
At the end of it, I'm sure. Right. Yeah.
Oh, the end was great.
Right.
But it's like you're just like, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, wait a second. Let me read those lyrics really quick.
Right.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mine was Don't Stop. I loved the song. I still like the song. It's an amazing track. Just don't listen to yourself sing the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because you'll get depressed, maybe.
For sure.
Or you'll remember a time that was great and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like me.
Right.
So yeah, that was my favorite track was Don't Stop.
I like it. So Steve, it is time for our first game. It is time for the Mac and Wang. I don't know.
Mac, Wang, and cheese.
Let's go. Macawangy and cheese.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's play Wang. Let's play Wang. What association and game?
You like that? You like that?
All right, buddy. So I was in charge of the word association name game this week. For this one, I did remember to check the calendar
Good news. I
because
checked it too.
absolutely. So I have two for you, my friend. Are you ready?
I am.
All right. Here's your first clue. I heard from a friend.
You make loving fun.
That's I don't know how to take that one, but
Yeah.
you know, no.
I know what it is.
Okay.
Oh, daddy.
No.
Damn it.
Oh,
Is it secondhand news?
it is secondhand news. Yeah.
I had another one too, but I wasn't gonna go with the other joke I had.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. That's good. Oh man, your clues or your suggestions are always way better than what it actually is sometimes.
These song titles just set me up. I'm okay with that.
It's true.
I knew what it was from the start, but I was not gonna give that to you first.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. So here is your second one, Steve.
Uh-huh.
Kirk Cousins winning decorations.
Dreams, because he ain't ever fucking winning Minnesota.
Wow. No.
Number 2, Go Your Own Way. Out of
No.
Minnesota.
Wow. No.
It's the chain.
It is the
You like that? You like that?
The local boy, I can give him shit.
He
Until he
is.
comes on our podcast and tells me I can't. And the gauntlet's been thrown down there, Kirky.
Yeah.
Come on out.
Come on out. Would love to have you.
I'll go to your golf course. It's in Holland, Michigan.
It is. Yeah.
He got enough of the- He's definitely probably
record.
playing right now.
Huh?
He's playing right now. He's not doing anything else.
Oh, yeah, right. It's just playing golf for sure. So speaking of playing golf, Steve, let's talk about our least favorite thing.
Wow, I like it. That was a good transition. Don't get him very often. That was a good one.
That was a good one. So let's talk about our least favorite things on this album. You start us off, man. What was your least favorite track on this album?
Dude, I picked a song that I actually like, but I don't understand why I like it now.
Okay.
Listened to this album a few times, and I picked The Chain.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. The song is an absolute earworm,
Mm-hmm.
but it's repetitive as hell. It absolutely has no meat at all. Nothing. The chorus is sung 5 times.
Okay.
There's one verse that's repeated 2 times, and that's it. Musically, though, the track is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It builds the right way. It does exactly what you're supposed to do. It's a complete vibe, and Stevie Nicks sells the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But there's no content. What the fuck is The Chain? Like,
Sure.
it just, you're never going to break it.
Yeah.
But, I've done that before, so it can be done. And I get, again, the symbolism of the song is like a marriage or a relationship that you're still hooked to each other. Get it? But there's nothing there. Like, if you listen to that song, it's like 3.5 minutes of just repetitive, the same thing. I think the reason it sells so well and does so well is musically it's amazing, and Stevie Nicks just you don't realize. But I listened to it 3 or 4 times in a row because I was prepping for this podcast.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, that one, nope, can't do it.
Okay.
What about you, man? What was your least?
I picked Gold Dust Woman as my least favorite track. I did. This track isn't awful. It's not. But personally, and I have made reference to this at least once before on our podcast, I am not a fan of Stevie's vocals.
You're not.
Alone. Like alone. I'm not a fan of her vocals like from an alone perspective. So this song being primarily her just doesn't do it for me. But I'll get into that more in my final thoughts. It's really kind of nitpicky, honestly, because the track really isn't bad. It's just a personal ear preference. So one good thing that I did like about this track is its placement. I do think that it does tie up the album well. So Gold Dust Woman was my least favorite. Nobody likes a dusty woman. That's dumb. So Steve, now it's time for our second game.
The best transition ever.
Yeah. What game
All
are
right,
we?
guys.
Yeah.
It is time for
The Fleet Yeet Shat.
let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, this is Shatner's Show.
All right, dude. We're back.
Yep.
Awesome theme song. Thank you so much to Jair Driesenga for that. If you guys aren't familiar with the No Throw Goats podcast, hello.
Hello.
We played 2 games. You guys heard the first game, which was our word association name game, a little bit earlier today. The second game is called Shatner's Poetry Slam. What we do here is one of us, and it's me today, will read off the lyrics for a song title or for a song on this album, hopefully. And the other person, being Brandon today, has to try to guess which song I am reading. Now, I'll read this in different inflections. As long as I'm not singing it, I can do it however the hell I want. So, Brandon, I did pick 2 today.
Okay.
Let's see if I'll pick the easier one, I think, first. All right. Here we go. Sweet, wonderful you. You make me happy with the things you do. Oh, can it be so? This feeling follows me wherever I go. I never did believe in miracles, but I have a feeling it's time to try.
You make loving fun.
You make loving fun. You do.
Yep.
All right. You're right. You got it. You did pretty well there, actually. You only got the
Nice.
first verse and a half.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if we get to the chorus on this one. I think you'll get it quickly, but see if we get that far here. All right, number 2. Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness. Like a heartbeat drives you mad in the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had.
Dreams.
It is dreams.
Nice.
Once I got to the first line of the chorus, and only thunder happens when it's raining. I was like, "Yep, when I hit that one, he'll get it quickly."
Yeah.
But if I don't get there, we'll see. Good dude.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
First verses for both.
Yeah, I nailed it.
It doesn't happen very often.
No, but it's like they actually wrote the song and the titles actually like somewhat relate.
Somewhat relate and also very sad.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, buddy.
Now it's time for us to get into our deep cuts.
It is.
I'll go first. I'm talking.
Okay.
I picked your least favorite.
Interesting.
Gold Dust Woman.
Yes, you
Now
did.
it reminds me of the blues side of Fleetwood.
Okay.
This is one of the tracks that I'm like, they were a blues band before? Yup, that makes perfect sense. The music side, it's very bluesy, it's very slow, kind of rhythm that with a little loungy-ish. And Stevie does sound like that lounge singer that's really tired of your shit.
Yeah.
The harmonies with Christine, because Christine does come into this stuff for her. She just leaves harmony for her.
Yeah.
Kind of sound effortless, like they've been doing it for years, and at this point they've only been doing it for a small period of time.
Sure.
Stevie says the track is to look at someone who's going through a bad relationship, doing a ton of drugs, and trying to make it to the next day. That's what this track's about.
Nice.
To me, and personally to me, it's the most powerful track on the album, and it does, like you said, it does end the album off exactly the way that it should. On that high note of, like, I just want to get to tomorrow.
Right.
And that's kind of where I thought I was. Now, I liked it, but I understand that, and that we've talked about your disdain for Stevie's voice on her own. So,
Yes.
and without, I think I think our conversation was without kind of a male to help balance her out.
Mhm.
Because if it's just her and a female, it's still too similar
Yep.
for you. So you
Yes.
needed more of that deeper male voice to kind of balance her out a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, so that I remember our conversation. I can't remember what it was from.
Yeah.
I think it was actually a Christmas album, maybe
Yeah, I don't know what it
a
was.
couple years ago.
Yeah. Something
She
about
did
Fleetwood.
something with. She did something with. She was duetting with someone else, and it just didn't. When she came out, it didn't work.
Yes.
And I want to say it was a
Yes.
Christmas album, but it might have been something different.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she was duetting is what it was. So
Yeah, she was duetting with somebody else, and it didn't work because you didn't care for, like, she took the song on at that point.
right.
All
Right.
right, so what was your D cut?
I picked your least favorite,
Of course you did.
the chain. I did. The outlaw groove with the kick drum that starts is really cool. I did find myself kind of moving to the beat that they were putting down with this one. This one though, I was not a huge fan of the vocals, but I could definitely get in line with the crispness of the band on this track. That was it. Super simple, straight to the point. The chain. So, Steve, let's us start start rounding out our final thoughts and giving this one an arbitrary rating from 1 to 10. I'll start because I'm sure you're probably interested into what I have to say on this album.
I am.
Or you're just saying that. So,
No, I actually am.
yeah. So, album is good. There's no denying that whatsoever. The beats and musical challenges they put together on this one were really good. Musicianship throughout this group really are second to none. Vocally, and Steve, this you nailed it right on the head, and I'm going to repeat it right here. Vocally, I think the duet style of this group, or like where they harmonize with each other, fits well for this band, and they really lean into that, and they sound amazing together. However, a personal opinion is that they don't sound as good, and this is across the board with this band. They don't sound as good when they are singing solo. An example of this, not related to music whatsoever, it's like when two ugly people have a baby. You've got one ugly person and one ugly person, but together they make the cutest baby ever. And that is this album, in my opinion. That's how I feel on this. So this album, honestly, because of my original thoughts on Stevie, my bar was set relatively low for this one. This album was better than I was originally giving it credit for when I first thought about it. And I really enjoyed what I listened to. So with all of that together, I'm giving this one a 7.75 out of 10. And you are muted.
The cute baby with the ugly parents might be like a top level analogy that you've ever made in this podcast.
Isn't that great?
It was spot on.
Yeah, because it makes perfect sense.
How did that come out of those?
Yeah, exactly.
You got every recessive gene.
Yeah, exactly.
Way to go, you.
See, and it's funny because everybody says that, I have very cute kids. I kind of take offense to that.
Well, I mean, it's from your wife, I'm pretty sure.
True. They get all the cuteness from her for sure.
Hopefully they get some of your height.
Number one does.
Number one does.
Yeah.
Number two, however, I don't believe she will.
No.
She's gonna be awesome and a wrestler and gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Jury's out number 3. We'll see what happens number 3. But she's the crapshoot right now.
Yeah.
I kind of agree in some ways with what you're saying here. The album is weird in a good way. Most of these tracks are iconic in the musical industry, in the musical history, and the album deserves to be in the top 10 of all time. It really does. It's a phenomenal album.
Yeah.
The fact that Fleetwood Mac put out an album that is full of pain, heartbreak, misery, but still sounds upbeat and joyful most of the time is pure magic. The stories around the recording of this album with 4 of the band members going through a divorce during the recording because some of the stories is they were cheating on their spouses with each other. And the copious amount of drugs that were being done throughout the recording session here, which ultimately led to the band kind of disintegrating as they were going. And still put out this is it's they're magicians. There's no fucking way around it.
Yeah.
And to have 5 people in a band that all sing, all of them. They did other stuff too, but they all sung. That you don't see that anymore, where every band member sings and harmonizes together. I mean, the drummer will sing when he's not supposed to, but he's not mic'd up.
Right.
You know, the bass player does his thing, but he's also not usually mic'd up. Some of them are, I guess.
True.
It just makes it crazy how this is going. And if you are interested in the history of this, look it up. There's so much that happened during the recording of this album. But also at the same time, I liked nearly every track on the album, and I felt like they all held up from the 70s, from 40 some years ago.
Right.
You know, almost 50 years ago now. Like, would it pass for like modern rock music today? No. But is it still an enjoyable experience where you can still pick out like Mick Fleetwood's drum line and go, holy shit.
Right.
That's awesome.
Right.
Like, you can still look at Lindsey Buckingham playing guitar and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
That was how many years ago?
Right.
And it's like when we talked about Frank Zappa. Like, you're just like, how were they doing this 50 years ago?
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. But for me, I went a little higher than you. 8.5. 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. Not bad.
No, I don't feel like I feel like it gets all the rep it deserves.
Yep.
It definitely is one there. So that being said, you know, we're close to 20 out of 10 here. I think we're just, I'm not doing the full on math here, but I'm thinking right around an 18.
Yeah, it's like 18 and a quarter, I think.
Yeah, we're right around there. So, but we're doing well here. I think the album is one that you should listen to. If you haven't listened to Fleetwood Mac ever, you've probably heard these songs. Shit, I think half of them are on the Forrest Gump soundtrack. But you've heard these songs in movies. You've heard them on the radio. I can guarantee you've heard them a cover band play them. But give the album a check. Just give you a look. See, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Now that being said, Brandon, where can the kids find us where else can they find us where they haven't found us today?
Absolutely, guys. You can find us where you've always found us up to this point. Facebook, search the Notes and Goats podcast. Instagram and TikTok at Notes and Goats pod. You can find us now newly on YouTube. Just search the Notes and Goats podcast. You will find our mascot Nate chomping on a record. There's potential that'll change, but we'll see. It's kind of in the works at this point. You can find us on all major podcasting platforms and the little ones too, just wherever you listen. Give us that 5-star rating, write us a review, guys. We really like hearing it. We're growing in the charts exponentially. Every week, Steve, we are constantly in some sort of country's top like 200. So it'd be nice to get in the United States, but right now I'll take Kazakhstan. So, whatever.
Let's go, yeah.
Yeah. So we're kind of all over, honestly. I was looking at it today. I get them once a week just of where we're at. So yeah. But we aren't on Twitter anymore though, Steve, because why?
Fuck Elon Musk.
Absolutely. So at the we're not really there anymore. We're there. We just don't do anything with it anymore. So it is what it is. So you can go follow us there.
Not focusing my time there right now. We're staying on Meta until Zuckerberg really shits the bed.
Yep. And then we're gonna have no choice but to go over to Truth Social. We'll go
to Truth Social and OnlyFans. I did see Whitney Cummings, and this is just so you know, we talked about this a little while ago. Whitney Cummings is actually doing a podcast network on OnlyFans.
Really?
Yeah, she just did the roast of Bert Kreischer.
I saw that
with a bunch of comedians, but she's doing it's OnlyFans TV. It's not all porn, I don't think. But I don't think.
Well, yeah.
I'll take my shirt off for less. Yeah. So there, that social media is on the upswing. Take that for however you want to do it, guys. The old slide whistle there, guys.
Uppers and downers, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I feel like it's right in our wheelhouse of content as well, because YouTube people only average about 1.5 minutes, which is very similar to our OnlyFans. So it would work. So we would do very well there, I think. So that's always a possibility. So
there you go.
If you don't want to see us on OnlyFans, follow us on YouTube.
Absolutely.
If you're not, then I'm gonna assume you want to see us on OnlyFans and
buckle up, Buttercup.
Let's go.
There we go.
All right, guys. So that has been the No Smoke Oats podcast, doing Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. Come back, like I mentioned before earlier in this podcast. If you missed it, you got to listen to it again from someone else's computer and device. And
there you go.
Come back. We will see you on Friday with a guest and some more classic rock.
Notes, my goats.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Notes for Goats podcast.